Today we're gonna demolish the studio and we're gonna build something else on top of it. Stick around. Welcome back, another Friday, another episode, and we're gonna dive in directly in my favorite part of the show, which is the community comments. Yeah, here we go. We got the first comment. What is it? First comment. This is on our last interview with Nancy Wong. It was a very interesting episode, and I'm glad a lot of people enjoyed it. And now is our most viewed episode of the channel. So yeah, we're gonna do more about this subject. I think people like it. So first up is Toi Alert Nang Luong. Thank you very much for sharing. I have enjoyed the interview and understood more about these methodologies. Again, thanks. Well, you're very welcome. And also, I should let you guys know, Thuy is from Vietnam, and she has offered to subtitle the interview into Vietnamese. So thank you very much. And if there's other people who like to volunteer for a job like that, please send me a message. And you guys are all part of this show. This is not just me talking. You guys are part of it, and together we're gonna spread this information like a wildfire. Next comment is Is Kapel or Is Kapel. He or she simply says, "Thank you for sharing. Love." I cannot do it. And a star and a clover leaf. So thank you very much. Thank you for the clover, the 4-leaf clover, and thanks for having you as a guest. We all enjoy. We appreciate all of you. So next up is Dr. Acula VL3QC. Do you have any links or information on this type of training? Enjoyed the content. Well, thank you, Dr. Acula. I like your profile pic. It appears to be a six-pointed star or wheel. I hope you enjoy our Ura Linda episodes. We're gonna have more. We're gonna have more information about it. I'm working on maybe having the professor himself for an interview, so that'd be great. So stick around. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're entering near 100 subscribers, so would love to pass that threshold. So stick around, and we're definitely gonna have more conversations about this, because this is a very important subject, and I think it's gonna help a lot of people the more they understand what is actually going on in their body, and the more we demystify all kinds of experiences that people have. Thank you for your comment, and please subscribe. Next one is Johan van den Heuvel, 8101. He simply says, well done. He liked the episode, and actually it turns out that I know Johan, and perhaps he's gonna join me for another episode as well. It's gonna be a little bit of a different episode, but it's definitely a very interesting subject. So I'm gonna leave it there for now. So stick around for the future. We definitely have more coming through the pipeline for you guys. So with that, those are the community comments for this episode. I know that there's a lot more episodes, a lot more comments on previous episodes from the Ura Linda book. Now I saved those for a different episode, because we're gonna make another Ura Linda episode. We're gonna dive a little bit deeper into the history. So I'm saving those for that episode. I'm getting to the point where every episode there's enough comments for you guys to leave. So so I can respond to them. So I really enjoy that interaction. Keep them coming, and yeah, see you in the next one. All right. So with that said, let's go back to today's episode, and today's subject is the demolishment of this studio. We're gonna have to leave the studio. We're only, when we entered this area, we only had we had this as a temporary solution. So I'm very happy that I got this place to start this up. But yeah, this lot where we're at right now, the the building where I'm staying at, where I also live at this moment, is gonna be torn down. And the interesting thing is it's in a small little village in the north of the Netherlands. It's called Friesland. For you guys who have followed the Uralinda episodes, you know that. And the the local village council, they have given me a letter. And this letter, it basically says that that is going to be torn down, and they're asking the people in the village, what would you like? What would you like us to build here? So instead of maybe refurbishing this, or maybe finding a second use for the building, they're going to do the traditional, typical Dutch thing: is they're going to tear it down and they're going to build something new on top of it. Now, what are the options? They've listed a whole bunch of options here, and you can pick and choose. And funnily enough, the option that I would pick, it's not in here. And that's mainly the reason why I didn't fill this in on time, because yeah, I think that my ideas would be too much out there to just fill on 4 pieces of paper. And I think my ideas would be better suited for an hour-long episode on my YouTube channel. So that's what I'm gonna do today, and I'm gonna walk you guys through it. So first of all, let's look around where I'm at. So I'm right here. This is basically the area where I'm at. I'm not gonna tell you the exact area, but yeah, you can see it's a typical Dutch Frisian landscape with a lot of waterways, very flat, not a lot of elevation going on here. And yeah, you can see, if I just delete myself here, you can see those houses. Now those are quite those are houses that are of people that are quite well off. On the top there, you can see a big house on a yeah, a small lot, as I would say it. And this is basically my critique of the Netherlands, is that all of us, we live in this big landscape that's full of agriculture, but all the houses, they're on a post-it stamp. Yeah, it's very small. And yeah, my thing is that we shouldn't do that. We should give ourselves more space. We should, and it's not to say that we should build bigger houses. It's just to say that we need more area for every house to be self-sustainable. And what do I mean by that? Well, we're gonna dive into that today. But first of all, let me show you where exactly I live. So this is the house. Yeah, you can see the solar panels right there. Those solar panels, that's the house that I'm living in, and you can see it's basically it's a row of houses attached all together, and it's basically 8 houses, and these are formerly elderly people homes. So elderly people used to live here, and they could sit in the south side and sit in the sun, and yeah, just spend their old days here. And those are the houses that were made for them. And actually, I gotta say, I've been living here for a couple of months here, and I gotta say they're quite comfortable, and especially in summer, you know, very low energy prices, and yeah, time well spent here. And for me, I don't see any particular reason why it has to be torn down, but it's just that this is the way that politics goes. So it's owned by a corporation of housing corporations, and they own it. And the only people that they're selling to, well, the only institutions that they're selling to, I should say, is it's basically it's the municipality. So I have no saying in this. I'm just a rental, just for as long as these houses would be staying here. But now that they're gonna be demolished, I'm gonna have to move, and you guys are coming with me. But yeah, the question is, what should we do with these houses? Let's imagine that you could buy this. So I know that people have tried this. They have tried to buy a row of housing like this, and they've been trying to do stuff with it. But it's been a giant legal hassle, and the housing corporations, they're not really keen on repeating that again. So it's a closed shut case. They're going to sell it to the municipality, and the municipality is going to build something on top of it. And you can kind of basically imagine what's going to be here. There's going to be new build housing, and they're going to be thickly insulated, and modern houses for a price that's probably way too expensive for people who just earn a living by themselves. So that's not the kind of thing that I would do with it. I think it's fundamentally unstable to just divide this plot up and put as many houses on there as possible. I think we should have a different look at it. And so with that, this is the map again. And you can see I pointed the arrow, and that's exactly where our studio is. You can see the long row. That's where we're at. That's our housing. So just to make it simple, it's gonna be removed. So if you you can see it's quite a big plot of land. It's a good lot, and also you can see the row of trees that's behind it. The thicket, the brush that's behind it. It would be very logical to include that if you're gonna build something new. So let's look at that a bit further. So this is just this lot, and you can see the waterways around it. But since this is kind of difficult to see because it's a satellite image, I kind of made it a little bit more logical, so you can see what's actually happening. Now, I just for you guys, this is north-south oriented, as you can see. There's what we call in Dutch a windroos. So you can see we're looking at it from north to south directly, as you would look upon it on a map. So this is basically the lot that we're looking at. So I can clarify further. So this is these lines. These are so basically it's a flat land, except on this particular piece of land. The land used to be laid a little bit lower, and before they built the housing on top of it, they elevated it. So there's just some elevation lines in there in green, so you can see which is the higher part. And if you look here, I kind of made it a little bit clearer. The yellow part, that is the part where they will let you buy a house. So you can see it here as well. is the yellow part. That's where the municipality will actually allow you to build something. And I would say this whole plot now, it is a big piece of land. So what I would say, it's roughly 50 by 75 meters. I don't know how much in feet that is. If any of you American people are listening, I'm sure you could do the metrics. But it's 50 by 75 meters, the whole thing. And yeah, that's a big piece of land, especially in the Netherlands. And yeah, what a municipality would do is at least they would divide it up into four. Have one big street going in, and then have 4 or maybe 6 houses. 3 on the top and 3 in the middle, and probably a road in between. They would stretch up maybe the yellow part, or maybe they would put a road, would put 2 roads. One in the front and one in the back, something like that. Yeah, but they wouldn't do what I would think to do with it. And I would.
Right. So
What I would think to do with it. Yeah, they wouldn't do what I would think to do with it. And, but yeah, they wouldn't think, yeah, they wouldn't, yeah, they wouldn't do what I would think to do with it. But before you guys have an actual, you guys have actually, you have an insight in what is actually the property. Yeah, they wouldn't do what I would think to do with it. But what would I do with it? Well, for you guys to actually understand where I'm coming from, I think it would be good if you guys had a good understanding of what actually is this area that we're looking at. So for that, I'm lucky that we have a reporter on site. So with that over, let's switch to our local reporter.
all right, so we're gonna start the tour off at the back of the lot. Right behind me, you can see the housing, and so I'm gonna show you around a little bit. So let me turn the camera. So you can see right here, there's the farmer, the neighbor next door. He's, fodder for the animals. And here you can see the typical Frisian landscape with its high skies and low lands. Behind this, this kind of bump, there's the water, and the water is above the level of this water, which is the stream that encompasses the lot. So at the back of the lot here, we can see some of the species growing here. So what you see here, this is the blackberry that's growing here. Of course, we're already late season, so we had the best of them. We picked them already. Yeah, you can see in the back there's the house. Over here, there's some kids who made a shelter. So anyway, that's cool. So yeah, one thing about this lot, this back part, you can see it's all cleared right now, and the municipality has done so. And the reason why they have done so is because it's mandatory in the Netherlands to clean these waterways, because otherwise they would grow thick by reeds, and you would get all kinds of clogging up of the whole system that we manage over here. So this is what the municipality does, and it's actually mandatory with this stream. So the funny thing is that one side is owned by the neighbor, and this side is owned by the municipality. And there could be a good reason maybe to close it off, so you don't have the responsibility anymore. A fence would do. But yeah, there's might be some problems later on for that. But yeah, we'll see. So anyway, what we see right here is we have a lovely hawthorn. It's the prickly kind, but yeah, it still bears fruit. These are these kind of berries. Oh, yeah, these are very. Ooh, Pick another one. Let that go to Mother Earth. So these berries, you can see these are very, very soft with a hard inner side. And these are full of carbohydrates actually. So great source of carbohydrates. And yeah, you can actually bake them into cookies, sun-dried cookies, or possibly also in an oven. So more hawthorn here. There's some elm here. There's an elm tree, and then yeah, some more blackberry. Basically, it's like a typical brush of a forest that's growing here. There's even, or it's not even a forest. It's what you would call a thicket, I think. There's a maple here. It's not. I don't think it's the ones that give sugar, but yeah, it is a maple. So possibly it might yield some sugary maple goodness. And yeah, this is where we end up. You can see all these willows, they have been cut back. So all due to maintenance. And you can see this part is you know, it's yearning for some nutrients. And over here, this is the spot where they dump the grass. So basically, kind of like an unmanaged compost area. And during summer, this whole area is full of stinging nettles and all that kind of stuff. It's a good place for harvesting stinging nettles. And so yeah, if we get over here, you can see this is what I'm talking about, guys. Is that every family, they should own a football field. So this is not our plot, but it is a football field that is next door. And just for scale, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Also, this is the waterway that's would have to close off if you close that stream. And the reason is that you can see it cannot pull its water from there, because that's a higher water table. It's very typical for the Netherlands. That's a very low water table, which is the same as that stream over there. So anyway, let's walk over here. So first of all, these two trees here, these are two walnut trees. So a very, very good source of nutrient. I don't know if we can see any walnuts still on. Yeah, actually here's one. There you go. That's a walnut. So break that shell open, there's a walnut inside. It's actually already starting to go, so I'll take that with me. So yeah, there's two of them here. This one and that one. And yeah, over here we have some more surprises. You know, apart from the fact that there's all blackberry growing here, there's a very significant plum tree right here. It has 3 stems, and it yielded a lot of plums this summer and late beginning of autumn. Now we're late autumn or middle autumn, and it's already it has been completely picked by birds and all kinds of animals. Even my dogs like them. They fall on the ground, and my dogs eats them. So I forgot to show you guys one thing. Just one thing that's very difficult to see on the map. So this is the housing that we're talking about, and you can see that there's definitely a slope there. So yeah, the housing goes all the way from here all the way to the back, and there is a definite significant slope here, which has brought the place of living up. And yeah, you can actually see a little bit as the map has oriented itself, that this area is actually good for building up on, and this has been allocated as not. Now there's another plum tree here. There's another species. I noticed this autumn, and it's this one. There's another plum tree. So it's almost getting completely overgrown by some invasive species right there. That's an invasive species. We call it devil's tightening, or at least that's the direct translation. I don't know if it's the official name. And you can also see it's full of blackberry, and it's completely taking over. You can even see some blackberries at the top there. Yeah. Still some going to fruit, and still some insects and bird eating them. So yeah, a lot of blackberry all the way to the back. And yeah, it's the thicket, it's the brush. Now, let's see if we can get over here. So you can see the effect of the sun. You can see it directly of how it falls on the land. So yeah, these kind of trees that definitely have a certain height, they definitely they have a lot of profit from the sun. They benefit from the sun, from the low building, and the sun that goes over it, even in winter. So what we're coming up on, that's a chestnut. Unfortunately, is not an American chestnut. It's a European one. They're called the horse chestnuts, and that one is not edible. But it is a fantastic looking tree, and yeah, it's it should provide some good wood someday. So right, we're back here. There's some more hawthorn there, still in bloom. So there's this is an interesting area. So we talked about the water table. Here you can see one of the typical Dutch solutions, and that's where we basically let the water trickle down slowly, because we don't need to upset the water table, because if all the water goes to the lower areas, we need to pump it out. But yeah, there's a possibility there to make like a water scoop, and I don't know why people don't do that more often. You know, just a small rotor, just providing some electricity. I think it would be sensible. Anyway, let's walk through here. So more chestnuts growing here, all babies of the mama, and more hawthorn, the prickly kind. More of that. Now this could definitely need some trimming. And over here you have some what are they called? Rose hips. Called rose hips. Now these are small ones. They didn't give a big yield. Oh, there's one. But yeah, you could definitely make a nice drink from that, even though it's a lot of work. Now we're going around the corner here. So yeah, you can see this is one of the houses that's already empty. So already people have vacated the lot. And what we see right in front of us here, this is an elderberry. Very nice elderberry juice. I made it this summer, although the berries were gone very quickly. And this is a beautiful, beautiful weeping willow. Very nice. The ducks in the background. So yeah, let's see if we can see the ducks. Oh, they're fleeing. Yeah, so this is one of the best spots where the ducks can actually get onto the land, and you can see the difference of how we usually how we manage things in the Netherlands is very nature unfriendly. It's a very straight runoff instead of this is, where the animals can get on land. So this is a favorable spot for the ducks. So there's a view of the building. These two houses are empty already. They're gonna be torn down. And right there with the solar panels, that's mine. It's just a small house. So yeah, there's a lot of potential, but yeah, this is a field area, and it now sustains 8 households, or at least eight quarterly livings. But yeah, it's going to be torn down because the building is basically is not of this age anymore. That's what they say. We need to have more insulated buildings, so that's why it's going to be completely removed. Now, one thing about this grass, sure looks like a nice piece of grass, but yeah, I had some plants, as you can see there in the windows, and I filled it up with soil that came from here, just from some moles who were digging around in here. And you just scooped up what they brought to the surface. I used that for potting my plants, and what I noticed on my plants is that they lack nitrogen sufficiently, so you need to have saving operations. Now over here there's another elderberry, doing very nice, very well. This is a very thick brush, and provided a lot of elderberries. This, I think it's an ornamental tree. I should look that up, what that is. And then some more thickets, some more decorative brush, and a small chestnut in the back here. There you go. And so there you can see this is the property basically. Now this is an area where you can park your car. So yeah, it's all surrounded by more brush, with a platan here. That's very close to a communal area where people drop off their glass and their dog poop. And over here there's kind of a special tree. Never really know how this got here, but it is a hawthorn. It's a plum leaf shaped hawthorn. So very interesting, and it gives a lot of fruit with very thick berries. So yeah, could be very profitable if you're farming carbohydrates. Now this is the entrance of the house, of the estate. So I'm not going to show you guys inside because it's too much privacy if the people still living there. But yeah, so this is going to be torn down, and they don't know what's going to be in its place yet. So that's why they sent me the item to ask me what I think should happen. And that's what I'm going to explore for you guys. So hopefully this gives you an impression. There's a pole for lighting, and this is some of the vegetables of my neighbors. Does very well on the south side, and more of my other neighbor, all of them annuals. But yeah, and one thing that's very good to know is just look at that picture. That is a view that many people would like to have for their house. So yeah, prime real estate if you ask me. All right, so It's kind of like the tour of my house, of the surroundings, and yeah, back to the studio, I guess.
Thank you. It's great to have such a good reporter on site. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I sure enjoyed making it. Yeah, it's. I hope it gives a kind of an impression. This is where we're at. This is where I'm living, and this is what's going to be torn down. And so, with all of that information, I especially spent a little bit of time on what is already there, what could be used again. Yeah, and if the place is going to be torn down anyway, what could be still be saved. All right, so let's get back into it again. So here we go. I added most of the important trees that I think should be saved. So I added all the walnut trees. They're there. I added the plum trees. And also, I think the weeping willow should definitely stay. It's such a beautiful tree. So that is up on the right corner there. The elderberries, and at the right there's the rose hip. I could have put that in, but it's only a small one, and it should give a little bit more space. But I think also that should stay. And on the left, there's also another elderberry, and then the hawthorn, the plum leaf shaped hawthorn. It all should stay. So whenever we proceed, if the building has to be removed, I think these things should stay. So that's definitely not the approach that a usual building inspector, or not an inspector, like someone who, like a builder. That's not the approach that they would take, because they're only looking at, okay, how we're going to put the housing in. And so what I would do is first take a look at, all right, what is already there that we definitely don't want to tear down. So these are the things that I would definitely leave, and the brush, the thicket on the back there, we're gonna go into that later, but there's also some stuff there that I would keep, but we'll get into it later. So we're gonna go into what I would actually put down there, but first we're gonna go into our sponsor. So our sponsor for today, of course, again, is Druid Secret. So Druid Secret, they're the main sponsor of our show. They're delivering a fantastic product. If they wouldn't be delivering such good quality products, I wouldn't be the one that would be advertising for them. So I'm very happy. It's a good. It's a solid cooperation that we have going on here. It's a good sponsor. They're having a lot of good products, so we can have a look at it. So I especially recommend their HHC oil. They have all the Pro HHC products. They're very nice. They have the gummies. They have the 10%, the 20%, and they have the 10%. There's a vape with a melon flavor. It's I've tried it. It is very interesting. Get you very nice and mellow. Yeah, if you're into vaping and you like the Pro HHC, which can be used recreational, then I would definitely recommend checking out these products. Now, if you're the kind of person that has health issues, maybe you're trying to get rid of some chronic pain. Well, it's not really used for getting rid of pain, but it's definitely worth for helping with chronic pain. Then I would recommend checking their CBD oil, a very pure oil. It's very clean. It's just a CBD, and it's all organic. So check it out. They also have some supplements that are good for you, like some mushroom supplements that are well harvested, and they contain the compounds that are what it says on the lid. That's actually what's in the product. So yeah, check those out. And then again, if you're a female, you like taking care of your skin, or any other kind of things, check out their beauty section, because there's definitely something in there that I think would be good for you. So whenever you're browsing through that, make sure you're using the promo code. It's called Paradigm Shift. You get a 5% discount. I also I get I basically, the deal that I have with them, I get nothing unless you guys actually buy something, because we're an upstarting channel. We don't have anything to bring to the table yet in amount of numbers. But if you're in need of any like these products, they're all 100% legal all over the world. If you're in need of any of these products, if you're maybe you're a recreational user of any kind of products that are hemp, then check those out and use the promo code, and I'll guarantee to you that you will not be disappointed. You're helping out the show with every purchase that you're making. So you're helping a good wholesaler, you're helping the show, and you're helping yourself. Wow, if that isn't a triple deal, then I don't know what it is. Okay, so let's get back to our regular programming. Yeah, let's get into the map right again. So we were at the compound. This is where it is, and this is basically what I would do. So if you guys remember our second episode was about Earthships. And if you guys haven't seen it, I recommend you go back and watch it, because it's a very interesting concept. So yeah, an Earthship is basically made to be completely self-sustainable. Now, I know that there's already a sewer system underneath. At this point, you can consider it optional. There's already a grid of water going there. There's already a grid of electricity going there. It's all optional. You can connect to it, but you don't have to connect to it. And it would be better if you wouldn't do it. Why? Because it's better if you don't rely on anything of the grid. Now, it's better in an economic way. It's better in a way of self-sustainability, and it also you're sure that whatever you're doing, it lessens the impact that you have on the earth. If everything that you need, if you can provide it locally, and you're the main safekeeper for your local area, then you know what you're doing is sustainable. You know it because you're living in it. So my plea is always to go off-grid, and off-grid is not something that was in one of these options. So with this, I hope to inspire people to think in this way, because what you need for an Earthship, and this is why you also need the space, one of the reasons is you need the thermal mass. Thermal mass is one of the most underutilized techniques in building. If you have thermal mass, you don't need a massive amount of insulation. If you can get the thermal mass from the sun, you can store it in the earth, in the mass that you have surrounded. It's a battery. It's a battery of heat, and if you can load it up during the day, and you can receive the heat from it in the evening, that will save you a huge amount of energy. Now, that's energy that you don't have to create by using power. You don't have to create it by burning any gas or any coal or anything. That's free. And I think we should definitely utilize it more in housing. So that would be the first step. So you can see, I actually it's the green part around the Earthship. It's basically a mound. It's a mound of dirt, and so your back is the back of your house is actually sitting in a mound of dirt that's providing you that thermal mass. The front is basically, it's a greenhouse. It's a greenhouse that will sustain you your water, It will sustain you some indoor plants that you cannot grow outside because, yeah, we're in a USDA zone number 8 here. So if you want to grow maybe some bananas or maybe some papaya or something like that, you could do it indoors, and you could also get the benefit of doing that. So yeah, that's the reason why I've chosen for an Earthship here. This Earthship is roughly 20 by 10 meters, and yeah, it would sustain a family of 4 basically. Now, if you don't remember what an Earthship looks like, and you don't want to watch an entire episode, here's a picture. This is something that's being made in New Mexico. It's one of a proof of concept Earthships, and they're actually legalized there now. So yeah, you could own one in New Mexico, but there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to do it in the Netherlands either. Although we have to be honest, because it can get quite cold here in winter, and then there's a lot of clouds in the sky. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have all the sun that you need to warm up your house. So I would definitely recommend in the Dutch climate that you would have like something like a wood system, or maybe if you can generate more electricity, all depends on how much you're willing to invest in it. Maybe you can do some floor heating or something like that. But yeah, a simple wood stove and lining the heating also through the walls, it would also definitely give you some heat storage in the thermal mass. Yeah. Now there's people I know that are very against anything that makes CO2. Well, here's the thing: is CO2 is not bad for the climate, I believe, especially not if you're planting trees. If you're planting more trees than that you're burning up, then you're definitely, in my book, you're a net beneficiary for the earth. So so yeah, that's what I would recommend, and I think it's very, very possible here. Now I drew a shed on here. The shed is basically on the left part of the property. Why did I do that? Well, because it would be good if maybe you could park your car inside or something like that, or maybe you can work inside, or maybe you have tools that you don't want in the house or anything like that. But also, if you're gonna produce food on your area and you want to provide the community, which this area is, it's in a village of maybe 600 or 800 or maybe 1,000 people, then it would be good that your excess produce that you cannot eat yourself, that you cannot freeze yourself, that you cannot store yourself, that you can sell it off to people. And so this shed, it could also double as a little mom and pop store. So yeah, that's how you could interpret this. And yeah, it all fits within the system that is already there. So all that we're doing at this point, we're adding to it. So let's add some more. So at this point, I just removed the building plot, because I don't think that it's necessary to build anything more than this. Because if you can sustain a family of 4 people, and you can sustain them just locally by all of this, then that is worth the sacrifice that you don't build any more housing on it. You have a great place to raise any children. You have a great place to be a beneficial benefit, like a plus benefit to the local community. You don't need anything more. So this is my plea, that every family, they should be living on a football field size of area. And yeah, this is how we're gonna continue the design process. So what I did right there, I hope you saw it. It's on the right side of the screen. Now I've put I've put a water filtering system in there. So it's basically a reed bed. So any excess gray water that you have, anything runoff that comes from the house, you can still have it on the higher part of the property, and then it could go down on after filtering, of course, after filtering the through a reed bed and a soil bed, it could basically go into the waterways again. That would be another opportunity to get a little rotor inside again. So basically, if you have one rotor there and you have another one quite next to it, which I showed you earlier in the video, you would already have two rotors that would basically they would run your lights all night if you want to. So if you have your lights and you have them running on LEDs and on a small washing machine engine motor, then yeah, you could provide yourself with enough electricity to keep the lights running, just the lights. Now, of course, you need more, so that's where you need some solar panels. Now I just put an array on here. Now, there's no reason why you couldn't double it up, but of course that's gonna take some space, and yeah, of course the space that you have on your roof, that's also your water catchment, because you want to catch as much water as you can if you want to be self-sufficient. Now in the Netherlands it's not going to be a big problem because we have a lot of rain here, and also you're surrounded by a lot of water, so you might want to, if you're willing to use the water that's in front of you, you're going to need an extra water filtering system. But yeah, you could definitely use it for flushing a toilet, or maybe if you can filter it, then you could maybe use it for showering. Now for drinking water, I would be a little bit careful. For drinking water, I would just use rainwater with a good filter. So that's just my advice. But yeah, anybody do what you think is best. Do your own research, definitely. So yeah, this is a good way of looking at it. Also, by the way, I'm forgetting about the whole water part, but what you're seeing in front of the building, what you're seeing there, it's an old canal, and it's left over. It's not in use anymore. You can see they drew a road through it, so it's cut off, so it's not in use anymore, and that basically means that it's a pond right now. There's ducks in it. There's some fish in there as well, and you could actually, there's no reason why you couldn't add more fish to it, just to sustain yourself with some more protein. But yeah, also the ducks, they can also be added. Also, it could up your protein. As long as you cater to them, you make sure that what they're living in is that they're actually good in there. So what I would do, I would definitely add one or two vegetable gardens. Now I drew them in a circle here. That's just because I like circles. So if you're familiar with our Ura Linda episodes, I think it would be a good idea. Maybe get a circle in a six-spoke wheel figure shape, or maybe a concentric circle, but make sure you're able to enter them. I also added another greenhouse. Why? Because it's always good if you like peppers, that they could go through the winter. Peppers are generally in the Netherlands, they're used as an annual plant, but there's a perennial factor to them. So if they could survive the winter, I'd say that's a benefit. So yeah, extra greenhouse, never such a bad thing. Also, the water in front, shallow water is one of is actually, it's the first accumulator, it's the thing that accumulates the most nutrition If you dredge that pond, which is what it is right now, if you dredge it out and you use the bottom of that pond, you scoop it out and you lay it on the surface of the grass or basically your gardening area, that is the most nutrient rich soil that you can have. That's immediately ready for planting whatever you want on there. Now make sure that whatever there could be in there could be seeds in there that will sprout, because it's such a it's such a rich, nutritious, dense mound of soil. Yeah, make sure you dry it out. You cover it maybe with wood chips or maybe some other kind of mulch that you might have in the area. Now, it's definitely not hard to get mulch around here. It's a little bit harder to get organic mulch. So a lot of mulch that you could find here in the form of hay or straw. There might be some chemicals on them, so still be careful about that. But you could also use paper, shredded paper, or any other kind of leaves that you might have from the forest and the back. Use that as a mulch, dry it out, and you will have a fantastic place to garden your vegetables. So, all self-sufficient. Just because there's a water area nearby, it's a huge beneficial for the area if you want to be self-sustainable. Okay, what else we have? Yeah, right. This owl. This is a picture that my neighbor actually shot in the beginning of the year. It's an owl that was actually in the forest beside. It's in the thicket. So we definitely want to keep in mind that forest, whatever we're going to do with it, it's already a habitat for big predators. I mean, an owl is a predator, and if you have predators, that means that there's something going right in your ecosystem. Except if there's too many of them, then your ecosystem might be on the verge of collapse. But it's definitely good. If you don't have any predators, then that's definitely not a good thing. So we want to make sure that animal inhabitants like this, they want to continue being there. And so let's look at the forest. So what I did here is I basically I drew in the entire forest as if it were a food forest. Now, the forest that is already there, it's a good start. There's a lot of good trees there that especially like the maple, like it's good if you have a thick maple. It might not give you the biggest amount of sugar, but it's good to have it there, because any kind of sweet that you can get by honey or any other type of trees that you might have, it's good to just have that there. Now there's a lot of elm trees there as well, and you might say, well, elm, that doesn't give me any food, so it might not be beneficial. Well, you might want to rethink that, because trees, they're connected with each other. They're supporting each other. So one tree is almost always it's fighting to stay alive. A community of trees, they're supporting each other. So you want to make sure that whatever trees that you have there, they're still supporting each other. Now, I would definitely try to transform the woods that are already there. I would try to transform them into a more productive food forest, and that would mean getting rid of the blackberry, for instance, because the blackberry is just overcrowding everything. So you want to definitely diminish that. Maybe you can have a little bit of blackberry. I mean, they're nice, but you want to cut that down, and you want to have more of a sustainable area with more diverse species. So let's look at this. Let me remove myself. So there's 9 layers in a forest garden. And if you look at that, so ground cover. So if you have blackberry, for instance, you don't have any ground cover because there's no space anymore to have strawberries, to have clover, to have mint or thyme or whatever. And then the shrubs comes up, which is you want to have something that is not as it doesn't expand as much, so you want to have something that's relatively stable. And then the smaller trees, and that's where you get your apples and your pears and whatever. Some medium tall trees. And then in the understory of that, you can get some shade-tolerant trees. There could be some vines that are growing in the tall, medium tall trees. And then on top there's canopy trees, which is what you would want as a chestnut, for instance. So this is just it's a good it's a good image to just look at if you're not sure how a food forest perennial how it actually works. This is a very good schematic to just have a look at. Now there's if you're saying, well, this is all very hypothetical, there's this food forest in the Netherlands that grew. There's a lot of different produce that is being produced here, and it actually provides more food than all the neighboring landscapes. And that's while saying that, you have to remember that when they bought this piece of land, this was the cheapest piece of land that was just being used for growing corn that would be used to feed animals in winter. Very unsustainable, very not very nutritious even for the cows. Eventually it kills them if you feed it enough, but usually cows don't live enough, so we don't really care. But this is much more sustainable. This system will live for hundreds and hundreds of years, and it will provide foods for hundreds and hundreds of years, not only for us, but also for any animal inhabitants that like to live there. So this is a little bit of produce that would grow on a plot like that. I like these kind of images, and that is the reason why I've gathered everything that I was able to gather in this area itself. Now, I don't have apple trees, I don't have pear trees on this piece of land, but they could easily be sustained here. These just come from neighbor's area that I was allowed to pick. And there's some hawthorns that came from this area. I made some pears. I put them in a jar. They're very delicious. These are the chestnuts. These are the walnuts that are growing on this area. There's some hazelnuts here. Very good. These are some plums, some plum compote that I made. Very delicious. Added some honey to it. Very nice. And this is some what are they called in English? Well, there's some other berries. There's so much food that you can actually live. And also you got to remember, it's very hard for us to get nutrition if you just go to the supermarket these days. It's very difficult to find nutrition that is still in there. Now, these wild foods, is basically, if you're going towards a more hunter-gatherer food forest kind of lifestyle, you will actually get more nutrition in your body system this way. And this is not even including any of the protein that you can get by for instance, getting ducks. Now, I recommend getting ducks instead of getting chicken. For the main reason is that chickens will they will tear apart whatever you have in the ground, so they will dig. And ducks, they don't dig, they have the flat feet, and whatever they walk on with the flat feet, they don't scratch. So all they're doing is they're walking around, they're eating your slugs, and they're just depositing their excrement, which is feeding their soil. So with that said, delicious apple. Don't need to rinse them off. There's no any pesticides or chemicals on them. I don't need to worry. So with that being said, please guys, remember to visit my sponsors. Go down and leave a comment. If this is content that you like, this is definitely content that I would like to make more, because we have to understand how we need to change this world. We have to understand that we all have to live in a better sustainable area. We all have to live, every family should live on a football field. Every family should gather their own food, because we cannot rely anymore on the systems that have grown out of control. We need to supplement with our own ingenuity, with our own inventiveness, with our own, this is not hard to do. It's not hard to pick up an apple. It's not hard to cook. It's all very possible. It's just different time management, different locality, different allocation of time. So if this is something that you like, just the same as I like it, I'm very passionate about this subject, please leave a comment down below, because the comments always help to push the algorithm. And also, I really like reading them, and I really like bringing you on to the show. So leave a like, leave a comment. Please share this if this is in your area, if you like this kind of ideas, if something like this is going on in your area, where you have maybe there's some land coming free in your area and you don't know what to do with it. Maybe you're getting even a letter like this in the mail. Please send it through to all of your neighbors and make them aware that there's a different way of living out there, and we should create opportunities for ourselves in our communities, for people surrounding them. So with that being said, please like, share, subscribe, anything, visit the sponsored, anything that I've said already, and we'll see you next week.